Hey, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed Wednesday Night Live. We put a lot of effort into that show. I know it run a little bit long. I had two guests on. One was supposed to be real quick, but I got to asking a couple of questions. We'll try to remedy that so it won't run so long next time. But I don't know who won the prize. I want to say Karen Voller, but don't quote me on that. You'll have to go back and watch the show. It's toward the end of the show when we do the game for the prize. Whoever the winner was, we all said, at every show, send me your email, your mailing address. I wrote down the winner last night on a piece of paper somewhere around here. I should be more prepared for this, shouldn't I? Oh, gosh, I don't even know what I've done with it. Hey, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Wednesday Night Live show. We put a lot of effort into that. I want to thank both of the guests for coming in. I generally don't have two guests like that, but one was supposed to be quick, but I was asking some questions, and I don't really pay attention to time because we really enjoy doing the show. But I want to make an announcement. Karen Voller, you won the game, and we said send me your mailing address so I can mail you the prize that you won, which was a $150 Amazon gift card. So if you want that gift card, mail me your mailing address. I don't have it. I don't keep things like that on record around here, and I'll be more than glad to get that mailed out to you. And congratulations on winning. I don't know how many super chats we got during the show. I haven't really added those up yet, so I can't tell you how much the prize will be for the next show. I have no idea, but we'll do the best we can do. I got a feeling it's what I can remember last night. It's not going to be anywhere close to $150, but we'll do what we can do. Let's get on with the news. A Sumter County Sheriff's deputy nabbed a man operating a vehicle without a driver's license. Well, I'm shocked, aren't you? The deputy was on patrol Wednesday night near Webster when he ran the license plate of a vehicle and discovered the vehicle's registered owner has a suspended license. The deputy initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle and identified the driver as 26-year-old, here we go again, Pedro Cristobal Cruz Contreras. I don't even know how to say these names. The deputy asked him if he was the registered owner of the vehicle, but he would not acknowledge the question. Contreras, Contreras eventually admitted he did not have a driver's license, but claimed he was in the process of getting one soon. A computer check confirmed that Contreras has never been issued a driver's license. He was arrested and charged without driving. He was arrested and charged with driving without a license. He was booked at Sumter County Detention Center and released on a $500 bond. Now I'm going to say something here that I better not. I'm going to just read a little bit of something here about the windmill and the water tower downtown that was taken out, and they're talking about what they're going to do about it. I have a lot of information over here that was in the paper answering a lot of questions. I'm going to do a special video just about that replacement of that stuff down there. Should it be replaced? Is it going to be replaced? Replaced with the same material? All these questions will be answered, and it's interesting what the actual facts are. The windmill and water tower are removed Wednesday night at Brownwood Paddock Square, yet questions linger about how or if the ornamental items should be replaced. Rotting wood in both of the 10-year-old decorative structures necessitate their removal prior to January 1, the start of the hurricane season. Both had been deemed safety hazards. The project-wide advisory committee, the PWAC, to spend up to $20,000 for their removal. And like I say, I'll do a special video answering all the questions. Remember the Lake Miona walking trail? It started out as something like, I forget what it was, $1 million to put in a half a mile or whatever it was, trail, 3/4 of a mile. It wasn't quite a mile, but it was deemed $1 million mile walking trail or something like that. And then they negotiated it down to 700 and some odd $1,000. And I said, Dan, I said, you can't go by any of these numbers around here. They play games with these numbers. I don't know how it works, but it'll start out at 300,000. Next thing you know, it's over $500,000 to get something done because of the studies. They always have to do a study. Well, here's the latest on the walking trail. Last one, if you go back in the news, it was like 739,000, I think, was the figure. Total budget of the controversial Lake Miona walking trail now stands at $839,361. The short walking trail labeled the $1 Million Mile by project-wide committee chairman Don Wiley won approval in April at a price tag of $730,000. However, the document shows that the actual cost of the project is now $839,000 plus change. So it just that's just the way it is here. I mean, it's like that probably in a lot of places, but people are more attuned to these kinds of things because once again, this is a retirement community and most of us live on somewhat of a budget. And it isn't like we can just work overtime next week to make up for this kind of thing. The Community Development District 7 Board of Supervisors would like to see signage offering direction clarity in roundabouts. CD7 supervisor on Thursday agreed to send a letter to Sumter County asking for signage at the roundabouts indicating north, south, east, and west. Supervisor Daryl Klinko offered the idea and said it might help cut down on the number of accidents in roundabouts in the villages. There are always accidents in the roundabouts, Klinko said. That's because people are stupid. Anybody that would go the wrong way in a roundabout is beyond having a driver's license, in my opinion. There are people who are spinning in roundabouts. I have to admit, when I first got here, I was a spinner too. The roads and signage are owned by and under the authority of Sumter County. You know, everything in your life, every driver's test you've ever taken says always merge right, always stay right, always go right. The roads leading into a roundabout even curves a little to the right. The center line that's painted on the road goes to the right. I don't understand why anybody would not go to the right. Now, if you're saying they get in the roundabout and they get mixed up on what exit to take out of the roundabout, yeah, I can kind of understand a little bit there. But you don't need huge signage sticking up everywhere. It ruins the aesthetics of everything. But there are probably some things you could probably do. I don't know what those things are. This is not my job. This is not my problem, actually. But the idea of signs saying which way do we go in a roundabout, I actually did a video and showed where a driver got in a roundabout and actually turned left instead of going right and went out of the roundabout on the other end, going the wrong direction. There's no excuse for that in my mind, unless you're drunk. There's just no excuse. An unlicensed driver has been arrested after a tire rim from a trailer he was towing came loose and killed a motorcyclist on Interstate 75 in Sumter County. The 55-year-old motorcyclist from Ackworth, Georgia, had been riding with three fellow motorcyclists shortly before noon on Thursday near mile marker 321 at Wildwood when he hit the tire rim, which came loose from the trailer. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, the motorcyclist died at the scene of the accident. Emmanuel Quezada Francesca, 32, of Winter Haven, had been southbound in a truck towing a trailer when a tire rim from the trailer came loose. The tire rim rolled into the path of the motorcyclist. The motorcyclist hit the rim and the motorcyclist was ejected onto the pavement. He was pronounced dead at the scene by Sumter County EMS. An investigator found that the rim belonged to the trailer being towed by Francesca's truck. Francesca did not speak English, and he had to be interviewed with the help of an interpreter. He said he had been traveling southbound when he noticed his trailer wobbling. Said he stopped and checked the air pressure in the trailer's tire and discovered that it was low. He started traveling in the outside southbound lane with his flashers flashing, and he moved along at 20 miles per hour. I think everybody knows the minimum speed on interstates is 45. He stated he saw a shadow of the rim and tire come off the trailer and did not know where it went. He stated he was just trying to control the truck. The investigator found that Francesca did not have a driver's license. He was arrested and charged without a license in case of involving death. He was booked at some kind of detention center and released after posting a $5,000 bond. No excuse for that. That is asinine. I have my theory about why these things are happening here. I'll just keep my mouth shut for now. A dead couple left behind an inoperable vehicle in their driveway in the villages. The home located at 1607 Ariel Place in the village of Sunset Point was the subject of public hearing Friday morning before the Community District 5 Board of Supervisors at Seabreeze Recreation Center. A complaint about overgrown grass and an inoperable vehicle was lodged February 28th with community standards. John and Patricia Henry bought the home in 2005 for $251,800. Patricia Henry, who, as born in Buffalo, New York, died at age 76 in 2020. Her husband survived, but he's since passed away. A license plate on the maroon Honda Accord expired in June 2021. A couple left behind a daughter in California, and she's been trying to remedy the situation. The utilities remain active at the home, and the property taxes have been paid. CDD 5 board agreed to give the daughter 5 days to get an updated restriction sticker on the vehicle or get it removed from the driveway. If she fails to do so, a $150 fine will be imposed, followed by $50 fines per day. That should be an easy peasy thing, especially here, because I do know the DMV and people that we've had to do business with compared to Indiana and the way they do things there. I'm not saying Indiana's bad, but it's easier. You buy a car, you don't take your paperwork to the driver's license branch, whatever you want to call them, to BMV, and give them all this stuff and sign and get pictures. You don't do any of that. Buy the car at a car dealer, it's all done right there. License plates, stickers, registrations, all done at the car dealer. You're good to go. I like that. That is so convenient for me. And the times that we've had to go to the BMV for one to get our driver's license transferred from Indiana to here to become a resident and some other things, they sent us an email about exactly what we needed to bring. It all was pretty easy peasy. We went in, sat down, and I swear to you, within 10 to 15 minutes, we were done, new license, and out the door. Indiana, unless they've changed things, it's not that easy. The Community Development District 6 Board of Supervisors on Friday approved a measure to begin a conflict resolution with Community Development District 7 in order to force the creation of a second PWAC south of State Road 44. This argument's been going on for quite a while. CDD 7 last year was the lone party which did not sign onto the agreement, which would have broken off the original PWAC, which was formed south of County Road 466. CDD 6 supervisors object to CDD 7's refusal to sign onto the agreement, arguing that it is costing CDD 6 more than $200,000 a year. You can read CDD 6's resolution at a link that's on here. I can't give it to you. Not sure how that separation and starting a new PWAC south of 44 is going to work out. I can understand part of it, and then I can understand the other part. Here it is in a nutshell. Some don't want us to break away and had the people south of 44 having their own PWAC because it's a cumulative effort of money. So that whenever something needs to be done, and everything around here costs a lot of money, like $1 million, I don't know, whatever, putting in a walking trail. They can go to all of the communities and divvy up some money to get this thing done. So if they break away down there, the bad part is twofold. The bad part is twofold. One is they're going to be limited on their budget down there because it's going to be their money and none of us will be involved with it to fix all the things like the golf cart trails to come up with that money. Now, over time, that area down there is going to be huge. So then they'll be fine. But as of right now, they really kind of need our help to get things done down there when things come up because they really don't have enough money in their PWAC to cover costs. Our part of it is if we didn't have to cover that cost, we would have more money to do things we need to have done, or it's very possible we might save money. I'm guessing we're going to save money. Will they give that money back to the residents? Probably not. This is just my opinion. When it comes to any kind of a governmental interference, once they get your money, they don't give it back. Very seldom. I know somebody's going to say something about tax returns. Forget all that. We're talking local government here. And they'll just figure out some other way to spend the money. You can't ask for more if you don't spend what you have. I learned that by owning my business. If you want more money from somebody for something, you need to spend what you got. If you don't spend what you got, because it's an open book here, then you can't really ask for more. And I don't know. We'll see how this works out. Florida homeowners paying heavy price for massive roofing scams. Roofing scams are at the heart of Florida homeowners insurance crisis. We take a look exactly of how those scams work and how everybody ends up paying. I've already done a video in depth on this, so I'm not going to say too much more about it. Construction zone theft and drunk driving arrests are on the rise in Wildwood. A reason why I read this is because a lot of the new area down there, like the Finney area and such, that's patrolled basically by Wildwood. You're in the Wildwood city limit area down there. Construction zone theft. There are the findings. These are the findings in the annual crime report 2021 released by the Wildwood Police Department. There are 24 driving under the influence arrests in Wildwood in 2021, up from 12 DUI arrests the previous year. That reflects a 100% increase. The 2021 DUI arrests include a Village of Finney woman in a golf cart who left Brownwood Paddock Square and stopped for a pee break. You remember that? I reported that. A DUI suspect who admitted he consumed 5 to 6 shots of vodka prior to a crash in downtown Wildwood. A visitor from a visitor from Iowa who was driving a golf cart and strayed across State Road 44. He later hired a high-priced lawyer to beat the DUI charge. He ended up really paying though, didn't he? Construction site theft, a problem in the southern end of the villages. That's always been a problem. I already done a video when I was the gate guard here in Hillsboro about how we caught a guy that came in a pickup truck. This is shortly after they started installing cameras at the gates. Before that, really, they didn't have any cameras here. And a guy came in empty, and when he left on the other side, he left with refrigerator, stove, and a microwave, I believe, because back in the day, whenever they would paint the houses at night, they left all the windows and things open so that the fumes could escape the house by the next day. And at night, anybody could walk in these houses. Sue and I, when we lived in this neighborhood, there was nobody here. And we would actually go around the neighborhood at night and walk through some of these homes and just look at how the different models were. There was nobody in there. And I made a statement then. I said, what stops somebody from coming in here in a pickup truck and just stealing everything? Well, nothing. Farmer said Wildwood Police Department Zone 5 is the zone with the second greatest number of criminal offenses in 2021. Zone 5 includes the southern end of the villages. This zone is mainly made up of active construction zones. The city has experienced a significant increase in construction-related thefts due to the various construction projects underway in Zone 5. A significant majority of the number of theft reports come from construction companies that have items taken from job sites overnight. Zone 5 experienced the following offenses: 1, aggravated assault; 3, non-residential burglaries; 3, motor vehicle burglaries; 7, residential burglaries. Wildwood downtown area sees the most crime. Kind of skipping through here. Anyway, that all don't sound that serious to me, really, when you add the numbers up, you know. I mean, 1, aggravated assault. If you talk to the person being assaulted, it's a big deal. But when you figure how many people are living down there, 1, that don't sound so bad. I mean, you're right. Don't be scared of what's going on around here. That I report the news. If it ain't bad news, nobody really wants to watch it. Everybody knows the good news. Everybody knows the good. Go to anybody that's got the thumbnail that looks like this. They report the good news. You're not going to get that here. Well, not all the time here. A villager who got involved in a local mentoring program has been charged after a relationship with the boy's mother came crashing down. Daniel Lee Mercer Schmidt, 65, of the village of Poinciana, was arrested earlier this month on warrants charging him with burglary and criminal mischief. He remains free on a $12,000 bond. Mercer Schmidt had gotten involved in the Christian program, Dads for a Day, and began mentoring a Summerfield boy, according to the arrest affidavit from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. After he was introduced to the boy and the boy's mother, I decided I would go the distance with them, withholding nothing without hesitation or reservation, in a letter in which he resigned from the Dads for a Day program. He wrote he made a mistake when he committed to the boy's mother. Let's skip on through here. The woman came home and found her clothes had been scattered on the back steps of her residence. Her iMac computer was on the floor in the kitchen with the screen shattered. A neighbor reported seeing a vehicle similar to Mercer Smith's tan 2015 GMC SUV at the woman's residence. The neighbor had previously seen Mercer Smith's vehicle at the home. Mercer Smith has retained a Ocala lawyer, Pravish Bobby Rumala, who defended a local surgeon nabbed in a 2016 prostitution sting and a driver involved in a 2014 accident on Interstate 75, which claimed the lives of George Phillips, who sold homes in the Villages, Florida, highway trooper Chelsea Richards, and a tow truck operator. Good Lord. Be careful out there, people. Be careful. Here's a follow up on perverts around here. A villager already in legal hot water is being sued in connection with a 2021 crash involving a golf cart. You remember this guy, right? This is the guy that liked cookies. Remember that? He was on last. Yeah, weird. Thomas Dothold Vermeulen, 71, entered a plea of not guilty last week at Sumter County Court to a felony charge of battery. He was arrested earlier this month at this home in the Villages of Mallory Square after allegedly inappropriately touching a woman who was resurfacing his driveway. This month, he was also served with a summons and a civil suit in which he is being sued in a May 13, 2021 accident in which his 2013 Ford 150 pickup truck collided in a golf cart on Stillwater Trail. The man driving the golf cart is seeking more than $30,000 in damages and alleges that Vermeulen negligently and carelessly operated his vehicle, leading to the accident. The man driving the golf cart is seeking more than $30,000 in damages and alleges that Vermeulen negligently and carelessly operated his vehicle, leading to the accident. The man who filed the lawsuit is being represented by the Bogan Munns and Munns law firm. As a result of the accident, Vermeulen was ticketed on a charge of failure to drive within the single lane. He paid a $166 fine according to the court records. He remains free on a $2,000 bond in the battery case. He was convicted of assault in 1977 in Macomb County, Michigan. And in 1995, he was convicted of aggravated assault in Oakland County, Michigan. Now, look at this guy. What a sweetheart. A convicted drug dealer was nabbed by a Sumter County Sheriff's deputy after he was spotted driving a vehicle with a burned out headlight. Joseph Carl Freeman, 39, of Tampa, driving a gray Pontiac at 9:11 p.m. Thursday in Webster when a deputy noticed the vehicle had an inoperable headlight, according to the arrest report. During the traffic stop, the New Jersey native admitted his Virginia driver's license has been revoked. A computer check revealed that Freeman is on probation through 2026 due to a Hillsborough County conviction on a charge of selling heroin. Freeman was arrested on a charge of driving while suspended. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention without bond due to the probation violation. Let me just say, those of you out there who are crooks and like to make a living at being a thief and a crook and a drug dealer, quit painting the picture of yourself on your face. It draws attention, and the cop's going to look at you, figuring he's up to something. That's all he's got to think. Oh, there's a burned out headlight. That's probable cause. I'll pull him over and check out that tattooed face guy and see what he's up to. Good thing these thieves and these heroin dealers and things are stupid. I mean, a newspaper delivery driver was killed in an early morning accident in the Villages. The 76-year-old man at 5:45 a.m. Sunday had been delivering newspapers in a Chrysler van along Oak Bend Place in the village of Tall Trees. He stopped and got out of the van, but failed to put it into park. The van had begun to move, and the delivery driver was struck by the van's door. He fell to the ground and suffered fatal injuries. A resident of the neighborhood said the driver delivered newspapers for the village's Daily Sun. Residents of the neighborhood said the driver delivered newspapers for the village's Sun. God damn it. Residents of the neighborhood said the driver delivered newspapers for the village's Daily Sun, although the Florida Highway Patrol report did not make that indication. The residents added he had been delivering newspapers in the neighborhood for a long time. That's so sad. Adolph's a Brownwood renter arrested earlier this year after crashing her golf cart wants a breath sample she provided to be thrown out in a driving under the influence court case. Tina Renee Frost, 60, crashed her green Yamaha golf cart at about 8:30 p.m. January 7th in the 1600 block of Shell Point Avenue in the village of Mallory Square. The crash broke a gas line at a home. You know, they have natural gas, well, I call it natural gas up there. So that had to be a pretty good hit. A witness told deputies that Frost had nearly collided with another vehicle at Stillwater Trail and Odell Circle prior to the crash at the residence. Frost told deputies she was traveling to Brownwood from Lake Sumter Landing when she got lost. Frost repeatedly lost her balance during field sobriety exercises. She provided two breath samples that both registered .115 blood alcohol content. She was arrested and charged with driving under the influence. The attorney representing Frost filed a motion this past week in Sumter County asking the judge to throw out the breath test in Frost's case. The attorney is arguing that the intoxilizer device, the attorney is arguing that the intoxilizer device used to measure Frost's breath sample had not been properly calibrated. The motion contends that the device was not producing accurate or reliable test results. You know, it never fails. Can you hear it when I talk? Here I am trying to do the news, and the guy next door is starting to mow grass. You can't hear it when I'm not talking because I got the gate on. This audio processor thing here has a gate where I can, when I stop. Okay, I'll be quiet for a while. She's in the backyard now. I'll have to stop again. This is the stuff that goes on all the time when you try to do a video, no matter what. Airplanes fly over, stuff. Mm. The motion contends that the device was not producing accurate and reliable test results. The attorney reviewed electronic data available through the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which reportedly shows the device was in need of service and or repair. A status conference in Frost's case is set for June 21. Well, sounds like they're going to get that thrown out, huh? A resident of Dale Webb, Spruce Creek, has been sentenced after a battle with his wife earlier this year over GPS directions at the Brownwood Hotel and Spa. Jeremiah Solana, 81, was placed on probation for 2 years after pleading no contest last week in Sumter County Court to a felony charge of battery on a person over 65. Guests were leaving the hotel February 19th when they heard a woman in the parking lot yelling, "Help, help, help, he's hitting me." The guest approached Solana and ordered him to stop hitting the woman. One of the guests called 911. Solana's wife fell to the asphalt and landed on her hands and struck her elbow. He forced her into the car and they drove away. Police pulled over the vehicle at the nearby George Niehaus Chevrolet dealership. Yay, George. That's where we got our car. Good people. Solano's wife told police an argument broke out because Solano was upset and yelling at her because she could not correctly operate the phone's GPS application. I'm sorry. Listen, I get frustrated at things too, but good Lord, man, there's an old saying, pick and choose your battles. Whether your grandchildren live nearby or are coming for a visit, villagers should mark their calendars for the upcoming Camp Villages summer program. This year's activities begin on June 6th and continue through August the 5th. The camp brochure with details regarding activities, age recommendations, and registration information is available online and can be accessed at. I don't know if I can get this address on this news report. If I can, no promises, go to the description box below and I'll try to get this in there for you. A Massachusetts woman who crashed at a roundabout in 2020 in the Villages has been jailed after violating her probation. Allison Kelly Carney, 53, of Chatham, Massachusetts, was booked at about 6 p.m. Saturday at the Sumter County Detention Center. She was being held without bond. Carney had been driving a 2007 Audi A4 at about 9 p.m. Labor Day 2020 in the roundabout at Buena Vista Boulevard and Bailey Trail when she failed to negotiate the roundabout. I'm sorry. I have trouble with this. How do you fail to negotiate driving on your side of a road? It doesn't have anything to do with being a roundabout or whatever. Oh, well. And struck a Seco, S-E-C-O, a Seco Energy light pole. No, she struck one of our street lights. She appeared to be under the influence, you think? But she refused to submit testing. Immediate failure of doing that is a loss of your driver's license for, I think, a minimum of 6 months. Her vehicle was towed from the scene. Damage to the light pole is estimated at $4,000. I got to tell you, I find myself less and less sympathetic to this. Lady Lake police apprehended a homeless man at the wheel of a stolen vehicle. A notification was received Friday that the stolen gray 2006 Toyota Corolla was traveling north on U.S. Highway 27 and 441 into Lady Lake. A detective located the vehicle on Genius Court in, un, in a detective located the vehicle on Genius Court in unincorporated Lake County. Lake County dispatch confirmed the vehicle was stolen. The driver was identified as 25-year-old Raymond Manuel Olivier. He was taken into custody on felony charges of dealing in stolen property. He was booked at Lake County Jail on a $2,000 bond. A 20-year-old with a cooler full of Coronas in the bed of his pickup was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. Jorge Luis Yanez of Summerfield was at the wheel of a silver 2008 GMC Canyon pickup shortly before midnight Sunday, heading north on US 301 on County Road 466. His pickup truck crossed over multiple times into the bicycle lane. During a traffic stop, Yanez admitted he did not have a valid driver's license. A check also revealed he is on felony probation in Marion County through 2024 on charges of selling marijuana and fleeing to elude a law enforcement. Yanez admitted he had consumed 5 Corona beers within a 3-hour period, said he did not feel intoxicated. He performed poorly in field sobriety exercises and provided breath samples that measured .09 and .089. So close, but not quite. Villagers are distressed about losing live oaks in their backyard to rental townhouses. The annexations of about 12 acres for the townhomes at Powell and commercial development was unanimously approved Monday night by the Wildwood City Commissions over the objections of residents of Buttercup Way in the village of Pinellas. Villager Gary Smith said he was very concerned about the proposed build to rent development behind his home. Our privacy will be lost. Our property values will be reduced. None of this works. Anybody that watches my channel, please put this in the back of your mind in case something comes up in your lifetime here that you need to go protest. The argument of more traffic, the argument of it'll lower the value of my home, the argument is I'm going to lose my view, and other arguments that they've used here over the years that I've witnessed does not work. I don't know what does work, but that does not work. Here's the thing that you're fighting against. Wildwood cares about nothing except their bottom line, just like a corporation. More homes, more businesses get built, more property taxes are imposed, which means that they can improve their town. Streets, more police, more fire protection, all these things are negotiable. That's what you're fighting against. Jack and Karen Thomas purchased their home at 2964 Buttercup Way in December 2020 for $425,000. We hope and pray. Well, that ain't going to do you any good. The praying part will do you no good. We hope and pray you will have the heart to save the trees. It would mean the world to us, Karen Thomas said. They don't care what means the world to you. Should we save this tree? Or can we make another $500,000 a year in property taxes? Let me think about that. Judy Quattrone of 2958 Buttercup Way is also worried about the loss of the trees, even if new trees are planted to replace them. I don't know how old these trees are, but I believe it would take many decades for a young plantings to attain the majesty. I don't know how old these trees are, but I believe it would take many decades for any young plantings to attain the majesty and purpose of these mature trees. Buttercup Way residents also had a chance to speak out at May 13th meeting, but some residents had indicated to city officials that they were not able to attend that meeting on Monday night's meeting because they had to go north. Priorities, people. Priorities. A woman blamed her new medication in a drunk driving arrest Sunday afternoon at Aldi at Trailwinds Plaza in Wildwood. Rachel Ray Paquette, 48, was driving a silver 2017 Chevy Equinox SUV when an off duty Sumter County Sheriff's deputy reported seeing the vehicle driving all over the roadway, according to the arrest report. Vehicle eventually turned into the ABC liquor store at Trailwinds Plaza before making its way to the nearby Aldi. Paquette said she was taking new medication and admitted she should not have been driving. She said she takes medication for her liver hormones and stress. Deputy detected a strong odor of alcohol beverage coming from Paquette's vehicle. She also volunteered she was headed to work at Aldi. She left her home. She also said she had consumed two vodka and Gatorades the previous night. The Michigan native stumbled backwards several times during field sobriety exercises. She provided breath samples that measured .296 and .321 alcohol contents. Holy crap, that's drunk. She was taken to UF Health Village's freestanding emergency room in Brownwood due to alcohol intoxication. Then she was taken to Sumter County Detention Center, where she was booked and charged for driving under the influence and was released after posting a $1,000 bond. I read that only because Trailwinds is right around the villages here, all that stuff over there. People come there, they come here. Everybody, it's all intermixing anymore. I've said it before. Most people around here, they seem to think that they can take prescription drugs and drive the car, and that's legal. It may be. You really need to find out when you're taking your pills, pain pills, muscle relaxers, all these things that they seem to think is okay. In a lot of cases, there's a warning on that bottle. There's a piece of paper in the little prescription bag when you pick up that medicine that tells you you should read this. It says, it'll say things like, don't take this pill and eat cucumbers. You may think I'm making fun here, but I'm not. I actually had a medication I took years ago and I never forgot it. It told me I wasn't supposed to eat cucumbers. I took this pill. So I didn't. I don't know why, but so it said, I don't. A lot of them I took because I was a commercial driver. It says I wasn't allowed to operate heavy equipment when taking this pill. Basically, what that means is you can't drive either. That's heavy equipment. You can't do any of that. I don't think people down here read anything or care. Oh, no, because we were victims of it. People around here are high on drugs for their doctor's prescriptions and things, and they're driving their car, they're driving their golf cart, and they will run into you and swear to God they never saw you. Wildwood commissioners have approved a zoning change paving the way for a new McDonald's restaurant across from the villages. The new fast food restaurant is located off State Road 44 next to Spar Building and Farm Supply in Wildwood across from the Grand Traverse Plaza. The address of the 4,444 square foot restaurant will be 606 Signature Road. It will be built on 1.187 acres. The McDonald's restaurants will include a drive-through lane. They've been talking about that for the longest time. I reported that, I think, like 2 years ago, that they were going to sell off part of Spar's parking lot out there where the ice machine and stuff is. And they were going to sell it to, they didn't know who then, but apparently McDonald's is buying it. Well, here's another report on a very familiar face. I can't remember what we reported it on before, but somewhere in our reports, this person has been arrested before. A villager was found passed out in his golf cart after leaving Spanish Springs Town Square. John Randall Erb, 68, of the village of Summerhill, was found in his running golf cart at about 11 p.m. Monday in a parking lot of the Summerhill pool, according to the arrest report. What I'm stumbling at here says his running a golf cart. I don't know how that works. Electric golf carts are, if you're not driving, they're just in idle, right? They're nothing to run. And then gas golf carts, like I've got a gas, are all the same way. When you let off the gas and stop, the motor shuts off. So I guess I don't understand that part where it says running golf cart. Erb performed poorly on field sobriety exercises. He provided breath samples that registered .191 and .198. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. Now, as we all know, politics is dirty almost everywhere you go. And here's another one that smells a little funny to me. Me being so critical. A Sumter County commissioner who has taken campaign donations from a politically connected donor voted in favor of his request for a freight facility on State Road 44 despite neighbors' objections. The rezoning request from GOP political activist Carlos Baruff was unanimously approved by the commission in its meeting Tuesday night at Everglades Recreation Center. Baruff, whose companies include Medallion Homes of Sarasota, has been a top donor to the campaign of Commissioner Roberta Ulrich. The proposed Florida Turnpike extension makes the State Road 44 Interstate 75 area very desirable for transportation and distribution uses. The approved rezoning will allow freight distribution center to be located at the site, which is currently pasture land. Notice I said pasture land. My mind says somebody made a comment on one of my videos about everything around here was a swamp area, that everything with water in it was a sinkhole, and I said no, it's not. And I argued about this. Pasture land. They seem to be unaware of the fact we're just south of the largest horse area, which is the Ocala area. Thoroughbred farms are there. We have a polo field here. We have horses here. We are not all swamp ground, beyond her or his popular belief. Ulrich, who was appointed earlier this year to the seat to which Gary Search was elected in 2020, did not comment on her vote for the facility. Oh, how could she comment without, 2017, Baruff was appointed by the Governor Rick Scott to head the Florida Constitution Revision Commission, on which Village's Vice President Gary Lester also served. Baruff was a major donor to Scott's campaign. Dirty politics. That's all I got to say about it. These people can be bought. They're supposed to represent the people in their district to whatever's best for that district, but anybody with a pocket full of money can buy these people to get what they want. That's what it boils down to. A villager who claimed he drank 2 beers was arrested on a drunk driving charge after hitting a parked car. Michael Dean Edwards, 69, of the village of Pinellas, had been driving a red Toyota Tacoma at about 4 p.m. Monday, when he backed into a white Chevy truck at about 4 p.m. Monday in the parking lot at KB Landscape Supply Incorporated, according to the rescue department of Wildwood Police Department. When an officer was interviewing Edwards about the accident, the strong odor of alcohol beverage was detected. His eyes appeared to be bloodshot. Edwards told the police he had consumed 2 regular-sized beers 4 hours earlier. He struggled through field sobriety tests. His breath samples registered .095 and .092 blood alcohol content. He was transported to the Ocala Health ER at Trailwinds. Before being booked to Sumter County Jail, he was released after posting a $500 bond. A landscaper was arrested for driving without license after crashing into a woman's vehicle. The woman had been driving a red utility vehicle at about 8:30 p.m. Monday on County Road 25A when a silver GMC pickup driven by 34-year-old Simplicio Jimenez Pacheco of Fruitland Park sped up and cut into her lane of traffic, according to an rescue department of Fruitland Park Police Department. His truck collided with her vehicle. His careless operation of the truck caused $5,000 damage. His careless operation of the truck caused $5,000 worth of damage to the woman's vehicle, the officer wrote in the report. Pacheco handed the police his Mexican ID card and admitted does not have a driver's license. He was arrested and charged with driving without a license. He was booked at Lake Sumter Jail and released after posting a $500 bond. Is that it? You couldn't get him for reckless driving too? That's a bigger charge. That would really cost him a little bit of money. They're cutting these guys that have, because they know he's not going to pay. They know he's not going to get a driver's license. He can't. He doesn't have a social security number. He's an illegal. That's what it boils down to. Police were called to a home in the Villages after an altercation over the child care of police were called to a home in the Villages after an altercation over the care of a child. Officers responded Sunday morning to a report of a disturbance at a home at 1700 block of Hilton Head Boulevard on the historic side of the Villages. John David Newell, 24, had reportedly been arguing with his grandmother over the care of his daughter, who is a minor. Massachusetts native reportedly grabbed her by the arms, leaving behind bruises. Newell fled on foot when police arrived on the scene. He was apprehended after a brief foot chase. However, Newell resisted the officers' efforts to handcuff him. Newell only cooperated after he was threatened with a non-lethal electronic control weapon. He was arrested on a felony charge of battery due to the age of the victim. He also was charged with resisting arrest. He was booked at Lake County Jail on an $11,000 bond. This boy's been arrested before. He's got problems. And there's several problems up there, and I'll address them here shortly. Newell was arrested in 2020 after he got into an altercation with his grandmother because he was not allowed to use the golf cart. Newell had been arrested after allegedly threatening the mother of his baby with a butcher knife. In 2019, during an altercation on the historic side of the Villages, and in 2016, Newell was arrested after damaging his uncle's golf cart, also on the historic side. I don't know the district rules in the district he's in up there. You always have to check the district rules, especially up there in the historic side, because that's where it all started. The Villages started. So a lot of the rules up there in their district rules is totally different than they are anywhere else. They're really, really lax compared to anywhere else. Anywhere else in the Villages, nobody can live here full time with their parents or whatever unless you're at least 19 years of age or older. That's the rule. Children are never allowed to be here any more than 30 days per calendar year. That's the rule. People try to sneak by with that all the time, but they get caught. He got in trouble years ago with his girlfriend, a fight up there. They were living up there. The baby was involved. Remember the 80-some-year-old man that was taking care of his grandson up there, and the grandson was living there, and the old man was taking the boy to school every day in his car, and his daughter was the mother of this child. All this kind of stuff happens up there. I don't know if it's legal or illegal there because of the district rules there. So if you're considering moving up there, this is something that you should put on your radar and make sure you know what you're moving into. Always, always, always check your district rules where you're moving. A suicidal son was arrested at a restaurant in the Villages after allegedly leaving a bloody message for his mother. Cedar Lake police received a report of a suicidal male at about 7 p.m. Sunday at the pub restaurant at Fiesta Bowl on Avenida Central in the Villages. That's a bowling alley. There's two of them there. The reason why there's two, years ago, one of them was a smoking bowling alley. You could smoke in there. The other one was a non-smoking bowling alley. I don't know what it is today, but that's why we ended up at two. Officers were already investigating a burglary which had occurred hours earlier at his mother's home in the Rolling Acres apartment. Entry had been made through the window in a master bedroom, and the kitchen knife had been used to stab the bed multiple times, according to the arrest report. Officers found a paper towel with blood on it, and it contained a message directed at Morehouse's mother. In addition, 2 televisions in the apartment were damaged. Groceries were removed from the refrigerator and thrown on the ground at the apartment, and the apartment was in total disarray. Morehouse was arrested in 2017 at Rolling Acres Apartments after using his mother's credit card without permission. He was taken into custody and charged of burglary and criminal mischief, and he was taken into custody and charged of burglary and criminal mischief. He was booked at the Lake County Jail on a $12,000 bond. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoy the news. Please let me know. This is a lot of work to do this, and if you guys don't enjoy it, and if I don't get a lot of views on these things, this is going to be one of the first things I'm going to cut out. I'm going to quit doing. It's a lot of work. But if you enjoy it, Put comments below. I really need to know. And if you enjoy it and I get a lot of comments, I get a lot of views, I will continue doing this regardless of the work because I'm doing this for you because I already know what's going on here. You're the ones that don't. So I'm doing it for those that's coming down here, that's wanting to buy, that's interested in buying. They need to know both sides of a story here. I don't put up them little clickbait thumbnails. Why is that? Look at this. We need to start doing that.